The guru has arrived. The guru has arrived, and not any guru, but guru level 999,999. You can't reach a higher level than this guru. I'm sitting on top of the world. I'm on top of the throne. I'm in the astral realm, and I'm bringing the knowledge to you peasants, to you plebes. Okay, this here, obviously, is the old school spiritual approach, where everyone would buy into this, right? A lot of these old school gurus, that's the approach. They'll show up in their robes, and they'll sit up on the throne, and they'll deliver the sermon that goes along the lines of, you know what? I've made it. I experience zero negative emotions. I am perfect, and you should listen to me if you want to be perfect as well. And people get sold on this false idea of enlightenment, right? This false idea of success, and it just makes things far worse, right? It's like every time they experience, for example, a negative emotion, they're like, oh no, I experienced anger. I'm not like guru level 999,999. Something's wrong with me. It's terrible conditioning, right? It's people trying to portray themselves as perfection, and then people are trying to meet that standard, which simply isn't real. Okay, that's the old school approach, and thank God that is gone, or gone for the most part. Okay, thank God, even this idea of enlightenment, meaning when I am enlightened, I will experience zero negative emotions. I will experience non-duality. Right? We have this warped view of enlightenment. I mean, it's even worse now with social media, where most people, let this land, most people who say they are enlightened, right? If you say follow some people on YouTube, are simply drug addicts. And people confuse that, right? Like, this is the classic enlightenment guru video. It's like, it starts off with a background like this, a robe like this, and then someone just acting out of their mind, where it's like, oh, you know what? I think guys, gals, people, I think it's happening. It's happening. And then they just speak psycho, where it's like, you know, the universe is one, and people fall for this. I'm like, that's just someone who's cracked out of their mind. What are you doing? That's not enlightenment. And really think about it. Like, if you think that's the goal, that's what you're trying to aspire for, like, oh, you know, here I am, and I want to go for that bizarreness. No, thank you. Like, if that's what enlightenment is, acting like a cracked out addict, no, thank you. Okay, so again, that's not the goal. That's not the destination. Okay, the destination put into words is this. It's changing your relationship with the physical. Changing your relationship with the world, changing your relationship with feeling, changing your relationship with yourself. It's simply changing your relationship. It's not non-duality, right? Even if someone's like, that's not true, I've attained non-duality. Non-duality is when you're dead. You're not meant to be on this earth and be in this, I am non-dual now, everything is one. No. Right? You're meant to have one foot in your essence, right? You could say where you come from, like, I'm good enough, and one foot in the physical. One foot in the inner, one foot in the outer, and you're meant to partake in this world, not just be in this cracked out non-dual state of mind. Okay, that's not enlightenment. And here's another thing. Enlightenment isn't you no longer experiencing negative emotions, because then it's just an escape, right? It's like, enlightenment's the escape from negative emotions. Oh, like, no. It's changing your relationship, where instead of having this attachment to feeling certain emotions and this resistance to feeling other emotions, you now embrace all. And trust me, changing your relationship with a negative emotion changes your experience completely. Because here's the thing. Say you experience some sadness, right? I'm sad. People hate that. They're like, I'm sad. And they feel bad about feeling sad. And then they feel bad about feeling sad. And that's what screws them, right? This is old school Buddhism. Attachment aversion. Emotions never cause you to suffer. It's your attachment to only feeling positive emotions and your resistance to feeling negative emotions that cause you to suffer. If you actually embraced all, and you can play this thought experiment with yourself, or imagine from the moment you're born, everyone's telling you, sadness is the best emotion. In every YouTube video, people are giving you methods to be sad, right? How to be sad all the time. How to stop being happy. How to be sad. What would happen when you'd experience sadness? You'd feel great. You're like, I'm sad. Because your relationship with it changes. That is enlightenment. It's moving your relationship with everything towards an open and accepting and welcoming and embracing state. You're still going to feel sad. You're still going to experience anger. All emotions are there for a reason. People tell you, no, you won't experience any of that. That's going against your emotional guidance system. That's going against being human. You don't want to disown that. You'll experience no fear, zero fear. You'll die. If you don't experience fear, what's preventing you from, walking into certain threats or dangerous situations? So it's not about disowning. That's just another side of the coin where it's like, now you get to resist all that. It's embracing. Okay? And again, thank God people are saying this more often. Like, I still experience anger. I still experience fear. I still experience grief and sadness, you name it. And that's normal and that is good. So let go of this enlightened lie. Also, let go of the enlightened where now that I'm enlightened, I must talk like a drug addict. Let go of that. And also, let go of the now that I'm enlightened, I must give up all physical possession, which is another terrible belief that's being passed around, where people are like, you know what? If you're spiritual, renounce all money. No. If you're spiritual, be a minimalist and move to the woods. No. Okay? Once more, ask the money crystals. By the way, if you want in on an inside joke that I just have with myself, you know why I personally love? You might have asked yourself, like, well, wait a minute, why does Julien like wearing these wacky robes and Gucci, right? Or why does he mix the crystal with money? I love it because it triggers people and hopefully wakes them up who are so far on that spectrum of BS where it's like spiritual is no money. And then they see me like literally the most just money associated brand, right? It's like, okay, what's the most cliche brand? Gucci. So I wear this mixed with some wacky spiritual attire and then just deliver, being very modest, amazing, awakening content. And people are like, it doesn't compute. Same with the money. It's like the spiritual and the money. Wait, what? Again, one foot in each. It doesn't mean you can't succeed. Don't create this bad label around success, right? It's key quote from me, and you can write this down. It's not the thing, it's the place it's coming from. Once more, it's changing your relationship with that thing. You can still make money, but it's very different where someone who isn't spiritual is trying to enhance their self-worth through money, right? When you are enlightened, you can still be inspired to make money, but it doesn't enhance you. So you can still go for it, but it's coming from a very different place. It's changing your relationship, but also letting go of the triggered side of it. Meaning that, let's just say you take fear, right? Say there's a situation that scares you, right? Common one that people have is public speaking, right? Or putting yourself out there socially. So what people have is they experience that fear, but the fear that they experience isn't appropriate to reality. It's triggered fear. Right? It's where something inside of you is getting poked at and your buttons are being pushed, your strings are being pulled, something inside of you is activated and takes over. If you take your total reaction to, say, a situation where you experience fear, one could say that the appropriate amount of fear that one should experience is this. But then on top of that, there's all the triggered fear. So when someone experiences fear, they're like, look, it's horrible. But if you actually let go of what's getting activated and triggered within, you release all that charge, and then you're left with the appropriate response. And it's not horrible suffering. It's there to help you, right? It's your emotion saying, hey, threat, 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 anger. Boundary's been crossed, boundary's been crossed. Emotions are there to help you. They're not bad. Thank them. When you experience that, thank them. Okay, so again, big myth, enlightenment means no fear, no. It means a realistic, appropriate relationship with your emotions. When do you let go completely? Right? That's another amazing question. When do you let go completely? What happens when you let go completely? And here's the thing. You probably heard this answer before and it pisses people off, but I'll explain. You let go completely when you stop asking the question. Why? And here's the explanation. Because the motivation for this question, when will I let go completely, is driven by, I hate myself right now. I hate myself right now. What's going to happen when I let go completely? But as you start doing letting go work, you start changing that relationship with yourself. You start letting go of all that self-hate, self-attack, and you just start loving who you are. And you reach that point where that question starts popping up less and less, and eventually it just stops popping up on its own. Why? Because when would I let go completely? There's nowhere else to get. You just love being you. And that's really the destination. This is what I want to hammer home. It's like all this content, all this advice, spiritual, self-help, you name it, it's meant to lead you towards a fulfilling life. That's the ultimate result. And people sometimes veer off that, where they think that it'll lead them to this supernatural, overblown life. Again, of like, I experience zero negative emotion. No. Right? Or when will I let go completely? And then they get so paranoid on letting go of everything. But that's not the goal either. Right? People get sucked in this vortex of, I'm letting go, and then I'm doing the childhood healing, and then I'm doing the bioenergetics, I'm doing this. I'm like, what are you doing? That's not the goal. The goal is not to get sucked into all that. The goal is, hey, take what works, apply it to your life, and live a fulfilling life.
Like, this program is such a game changer. The way everything's structured and the material, it's been already, even for me, I'm noticing a crazy change in the way that my whole life's like playing out.
What you put together is just incredible. There's nothing like that.
I've just jumped like a million levels. It's just been a complete 180 for my experience of existing. That's awesome.
It's just been so huge in terms of so many of the things I'm finally understanding and realizing, and epiphanies I'm having.
What you do is a huge inspiration to me, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things you can give to another human in this entire world.
You saved my enlightenment. I'm telling you, this is real, man.
Sometimes all it takes is just one person who believes in you. Find people who are where you are in life and model them, work with them. I would not be here if I didn't have people who held me accountable.
Wow.
I just felt a click and things are changing.
This program was just top notch.
Seriously, like, this is a masterpiece. This is perfect.
Everything, the way it's set up, the live calls, like all the support from the coaches is incredible.
It's been nuts.
I just had my tears of joy.
This was the best decisions I ever made.
Thank you for creating something wonderful like this.
This program was phenomenal.
This program was amazing.
This program has definitely changed my life.
I know for a fact I'm in the right place.
This is exactly what I was expecting from the program.
It's been spectacular.
I feel really lucky to have found you.
Thank you so much, Julien. It's worth every dollar.